Hi, good morning, everyone. It is Thursday. It is September 5th, and it's 4 a.m. here in Chicago. So I was just scrolling through TikTok, and there's so many things on TikTok. It's almost like a city that never sleeps on social media because TikTok kind of seems to stay more awake, more alive of all the social media platforms because I don't know, it just does. Because you get, like, I don't know, it seems like TikTok is the liveliest, especially at like crazy hours in the morning. So you see people at food trucks, people at their homes or apartments just wanting to chop it up with whoever slides through, people selling wigs, people selling lash extensions, people arguing with their dude, people telling stories, good stories too, people talking about their job. You can find anything. But here's my question, because I just scrolled past it. What is it with people being obsessed with saying Venezuelan gangs are taking over Chicago? Like, what is the obsession with people saying that? And then you go to the comments and people are like, this is a lie. I literally live right across the street from there, and ain't no Venezuelan gangs nowhere. Now you got people lying, saying Venezuelan gangs took over O Block. Really? Venezuelan gangs took over O Block. Okay, yeah. And then, I better not say his name. He's from here, so, he has more right to talk about the city than I do. Don't get me wrong. He's from here. He has more right to talk about the city than I do. But this dude now lives in Vegas. And from what I understand, he's been in Vegas for a while. And all he ever wants to talk about is Chicago. Like, dude, you're scared to try something new? Like, you're like, why is it that people, when they quote unquote get away from a situation, they still want to talk about it and talk about it and talk about it? Didn't you leave? Like, so why are you still like spreading news on Chicago? There are enough people who live here who can talk about Chicago. It's time for you to talk about Vegas. I think people, especially dudes, they be so scared they're going to lose their pass. So scared they're going to lose their ghetto pass. You were born and raised in Chicago. Nobody will ever take that away from you. Don't worry. I knew a dude like that from Brooklyn. He done lived in D.C. for God bless how many years, and everything was Brooklyn. One day I had to tell him, nobody's going to take Brooklyn away from you. Don't worry. So, but it's when you move out that kills me. You are not living there anymore. Why are you acting like you're still in the heart of everything? You're not dodging no bullets here in Chicago. You're not dealing with any gang warfare here in Chicago. Yeah, you're part, you belong to that gang, but you're in Vegas. Like, let it go. But again, they be scared they're going to lose their ghetto pass or whatever. But anyway, he was even reporting that Venezuelan gangs took over Chicago. Then he had the nerve to go on this long spiel about how black people, we don't know how to stick together. And like, first of all, how are you going to start off with false information and then start talking about what black people need to do? No, you need to focus on your family. You got kids out there in Vegas. Raise your kids and just go on about your business, But, yeah, there's no Venezuelan gangs taking over O Block. And again, I'm not saying that will never happen, but if it does ever happen, you better believe it's with the aid of the government or the military. But ain't no random Venezuelan gang gonna come take over O Block. That doesn't even make sense. If you got a gun and I have a gun, why would you come into an area that you're not familiar with the ins and outs and think you're gonna have the advantage? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Who would go into O Block with guns and think that they could win? That doesn't even make sense. But people just believe anything. But that's all. But yeah, TikTok is something else. Oh, before I forget, so the most exciting thing I found on TikTok, this girl, she's here in Chicago, and she does digital marketing, and she was talking about how she is so over it. She's so bored with it. And she's like, if you got a 9-to-5 and you got to physically go to work, she said, I envy you. She said, that's what I need to get back to. I am so bored. I am so bored. So of course everybody's in the comments like, you are literally living out my dream. You're working from home, doing digital marketing. And she's like, I don't care, I'm bored. And then people who do what she does, they're co-signing in the comments. They're like, I know how you feel. I'm bored to death. So apparently digital marketing gets very boring. Now, it's hard for me to imagine getting that bored with just sitting home making money. Like, I'm sure you got to do some work, but what are you bored with? You're at home, you're making money. Find something to make it more exciting. If you're that bored, that means that you have a lot of idle time. Use that time. If you already started one business, start another one. It's kind of like people who own one restaurant. Isn't it easier for them to now open another one and then maybe a third one? Like, if you have one that you're so good at that you're bored, because to me, you can only be bored if you are really, really on top of your shit. That's the only way you could be bored, right? So she's obviously very much on top of her shit, and she obviously has a lot of time. So use that time and do it again. Have 2 digital marketing businesses. I don't know. And she gives really good advice too. Oh my God, she gives really good advice, because a lot of the advice she gave, I already knew because I follow the right people. And she's cool, and she responds to people in comments, and she tells people what they need to know. I'm telling you, Chicago women, especially the ones who got their shit going on and they got their own businesses, they are so cool. They are so cool. And she's helping people totally for free. She ain't looking for no money. She's just helping people right there in the comments. And but apparently digital marketing is a boring ass job, And so if you have a 9 to 5, she's saying keep it. I don't know. I worked from home one time for about, I think it was 6 months tops. I didn't care for it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't like it. And I had a beautiful balcony in Miami overlooking palm trees, and I could see some of the traffic. I had a really nice view. I still wasn't crazy about working from home. I much preferred getting up, getting dressed, and going to the job. I just did. I don't know if I will now, because right now working from home sounds very good to me. But I don't know. I guess my point is I can understand people getting bored with it, because I didn't like it when I had it. I didn't like it. And I had the perfect location. Still didn't like it. But yeah, TikTok, I don't know. I enjoy TikTok. To me, TikTok, like I said, it's like I don't know. It's like a city that never sleeps, but on social media. But that's all. Have a good day, everyone.